Good morning. Well, it's just the afternoon. Here we are, near Old Willunga, Extinction Rebellion, live streaming on the main South Road. The road, and you can just see the sea in the distance. This beautiful roadway that travels down from Adelaide City to what we call the South Coast. Welcome. A very interesting view of traffic going past, and you'll see that the traffic is actually quite light. If you're wondering why this is, it's because the Tour Down Under first stage of the women's race is coming through quite soon, starting at the lovely palindromic city of Glenelg on the coast and moving through to Aldinga with its beautiful views over the sea. Here we are, waiting to greet the women, their teams as they come through. We have our own team here of people. And why are we here? Because, as you may know, Santos, South Australia's own oil and gas company, now the third largest fossil fuel company in the world, with its headquarters in Adelaide, is sponsoring the Tour Down Under. This is no accident. Our Premier, Peter Malinauskas, has a brother who is an expert in the oil and gas industry and is actually a senior manager in Santos. Some supporters passing there. And he is actually the head of government relations for Santos. And Santos itself gains a lot of support and kudos by sponsoring the Tour Down Under. In return for that, they get massive naming rights and advertising plastered all over our beloved cycle race. The lovely gentlemen of the South Australian Police Force are here inspecting the site as we prepare to greet the cyclists as they come through. Many South Australian women actually riding today, but also of course internationally famous cyclists. And we welcome them all because we love this cycle race. What we don't love is the dirt, in a moral sense actually, of Santos. Here we have some of our protesters with their banners and placards saying that they want to reject Santos as a sponsor. Not rejecting cycling, but rejecting Santos. Our slogan for the campaign is DUMP SANTOS, and we use the word dump advisedly. We have a great turnout today of rebels from across Adelaide, in fact from across South Australia. We're getting a lot of support from passing traffic. Yeah, get the legs going. Some supporters passing there.
Right, left, right, left. Don't be too polite, girl. Don't be too polite. Santa tells us lies, girls. Rapping is not right. They only care for profit, so this is what we'll do.
Our supporters here making the point that it was very, very acceptable in years gone by to have tobacco companies sponsoring sport and other events. Oil, gas and coal are the new tobacco. The things that are damaging our climate, the things that are causing global warming. Just yesterday a fire broke out actually on the cycle race route up at Montacute. We're hoping that's all cleared away before the race goes, but it's an example of the kind of damage that's being caused to our climate. We know that the races are proceeding down the South Road, and we'll be waiting for the cavalcade of large cars and plastic kangaroos on top of them coming through as an advance guard of the race. the people who organise this race are extremely skillful, and they know how to safely make the traffic calm down and stop so that the riders can get through. And of course they're very quick. They don't hold the race up for very long. We're looking forward to seeing them coming through, seeing in fact if the riders will be spread out or if they'll be all bunched together. It'll be great. We have a lovely row of spectators here waiting to see the race, and this is a women's focused protest. The women here, between them, have about 1,000 years experience of caring for other people, and that is characteristic of the climate movement, is that it is very women focused. Of course, there's people from all walks of life, people who are refugees in our movement, men of course too, but often women, and often older women, because they've seen life and they know, many of them actually can remember wars and conflicts, and they can remember the kinds of threats that people are in. They know how fragile our existence is, how much we depend even on going to the supermarket and getting food. They know that a climate crisis will become a life crisis. It will become a situation where you can't get food for small children, where hygiene and sanitation services literally go out the window. People understand this, and once they understand the danger that comes with floods, fires and other natural disasters, they start to worry. If they can't find a way of facing those fears, then they become really, really frightened. But if they can face the fears and take action, that's what we're hoping people will do. If they can face those fears and take action, then good things start to happen. People start to collaborate to oppose these fossil fuel companies. You may have seen recently that the acting Prime Minister, Jim Chalmers, actually our Treasurer, has been talking about the amount of money that it takes to remediate climate change damage. We already know that floods along the Murray here in South Australia, floods in the north of Western Australia, floods in places like Lismore have caused billions of dollars worth of damage. Much more money than it takes to reduce carbon damage, to move to renewables. Here in South Australia, we are blessed with sun and wind. It's a windy day today. And we have world-class renewable energy. We produce more renewable energy per capita for our needs than anywhere else in the world, and we are a world leader. We produce more than 100% of our energy needs through renewable energy on many days of the year, and we actually export renewable energy to other states in Australia. We're proud of this record, but not many people know that it's true. But we're hoping that this continues and that people draw the conclusion that with careful management, with innovation, we can all become much more focused on renewable energy. We don't need oil, we don't need gas, we don't need the lies that go with companies like Santos. And it's the lies that are the most shocking thing. Kevin Gallagher, the Chief Executive Officer of Santos, claims that the company is moving to be carbon neutral. He claims that they can use technologies like carbon capture and storage to remove carbon dioxide and methane from the atmosphere. Yes, you can remove some carbon when you extract oil and gas from the ground. But once you sell, for example, gas to customers and they burn it as a fuel,
Okay, we're happening.
that's when the damage occurs. Now we can see our cavalcade starting to come down the road. You can see the lights of the police motorbikes and vehicles. And what's this happening here? We have some rebels. We have the sirens. The police experts stopping the traffic as it comes out of the side road. A what?
Like the meme. Sorry.
Yeah.
These guys, the meme.
Just have a quick look here at the roadway, which is now almost completely clear as the race is starting to come through. The traffic noise has fallen away. One thing we love about this race, it's not like a motor race where you have to wear earplugs. It's quite restful.
I actually like the race itself. The sponsorship.
Yeah, people are commenting how good the race is. And it is. Greetings to new watchers. This is a very cheeky action. We have a surprise in store for you. Not just the race itself, which will be fantastic, but our local group of Extinction Rebellion supporters have been planning and scheming to make a bit of a splash here that has an unusual aspect. Many media outlets have tried to claim that Extinction Rebellion is anti-cycling. This is not true. Of course, many members of Extinction Rebellion and other conservation groups do ride bicycles, but that's not the point. The point we're making here is that fossil fuels are on the way out. They are a dying industry. They're creating stranded assets and causing increasing damage. We must stop. We have only 10 years to call this to a halt. Let's just swing around and see the aspect of the road. The police are still stopping traffic here. Traffic still moving carefully on the other side of the road, no dramas there. Our rebels still singing, waiting for the moment when the race passes by. The distant sound of a helicopter. This will be a spectacular race as it passes along the beach side at Aldinga, and the helicopters get a beautiful view of the cyclists going past with the road on one side and the sea and the beach on the other side. People overseas are often surprised about how spectacular the South Australian coastline is. Of course, races like the Tour de France and Giro d'Italia have their own charms, but this is a completely different landscape. The landscape we have here is different again. People saying they love the race, they really love and support the race, but they want a change in sponsorship. Santos is continuing to extract gas and oil. There is a court injunction against Santos to stop drilling, for example, in the Barossa Basin, north of Darwin. They failed to consult with the indigenous landowners on the Tiwi Islanders, and the court has stopped them drilling. Santos arrogantly claims that this will not affect their project in the slightest, and they're continuing to build a gigantic pipeline to pump gas from the Barossa Basin to Southeast Asia. This just shows their lack of respect for the people and for the court of Australia. Meanwhile, the government will not oppose them, will not raise taxes on them, seems to think that they are untouchable. South Australia is here to prove them wrong. We can do so much better. And a first step is to stop them greenwashing and sports washing, trying to claim that they are the friends of the community. They are not. They are gaslighting us. They are doing us down. Helicopters are above now, as you can hear. Here comes the start of the cavalcade, the supporting vehicles. Many very skilled operators managing this race. For example, the people who take vision while on the back of motorbikes. You have to admire their skill. Police going through to keep control of the traffic, make sure people don't come in from the side. Cyclists coming through! Our rebels showing the lack of respect we have for the cyclists. There goes our beautiful cyclists. Here come our women, elderly women, as they are the first to say, making the point that they will do anything to protect the people they love from climate change. It's a cheeky protest, it's a disrespectful protest, and it shows what they think of the authorities that allow this damage to happen. They are the first to say that they're not here to take part in any kind of media contest. They're here to show what they really think of Santos. Santos sucks is their message. Anybody who doesn't understand why they are saying this needs to have a serious examination of the facts of the case and understand what is really going on in our community. In the same way that tobacco companies persuaded us that tobacco was good for our health and that gambling companies addict people. Now what's happening now? They've got another message. Dump Santos. Now the police are moving off our protesters. I don't know what they think is so offensive about people's bottoms. I don't know if they've received any complaints from members of the public. Let's follow the action and see what happens. Our rebels being taken away to police vehicles, and from there we'll see what happens.
They're arresting them? Jesus Christ.
Well done, women!
Climate heroes!
They are unstoppable, and now the world is possible.
They are unstoppable!
They are unstoppable, and now the world is possible. They are unstoppable, and now the world is possible. They are unstoppable, and now the world is possible. They are unstoppable, and now the world is possible. They are unstoppable, and now the world is possible. They are unstoppable, and now the world is possible.
As these women say, they've tried every means of protesting. They've tried being polite. They've written to politicians. They've been on demonstrations. They've made petitions. And it does not work. They've done the things now that most people would be embarrassed to do. Most people are embarrassed even to stand up on the street. These women have bared socially dangerous, if you like, parts of their bodies because they care. They know that human bodies are fragile things, that in the end bodies don't really matter. What matters is safety for people, safety for vulnerable people.
Even the breastfeeding were there for 10 minutes or so. So you can have a bum and a breast on a bus, it's no good, because you can't have it with people standing in the river.
Our rebels are making the point to police that various kinds of nudity of quite salacious types is readily available in public, on adverts, on the television, all over the place. But a few elderly women bearing wrinkly parts of their bodies is considered to be unacceptable. We'll be interested to see how these charges pan out and what the charges are. the song that they've been singing, Don't Be Too Polite Girls, has a long history in the women's movement. Everybody used to tell women to smile, to be nice. Well, we've had it with being nice, and these women are making that very strong statement. We tried polite. We tried polite. And in fact, as you all know, all of them are polite. And in all their protests, take care of other people, do not hurt other people, are determinedly non-violent. So it's interesting to see that the police force in South Australia are the servant of gas and oil companies and are doing their job of trying to make profit. This is a great disappointment. We always thought that the police were servants of the people, but this is not the case. The people need more help. They need to be able to oppose climate injustices, climate change that will hit the people hardest who can least afford it. The elderly, the less mobile, children, people who are unemployed, people who are in poverty. Here we are in a relatively wealthy country. You will have seen the floods in Pakistan. You know that the people in Lismore who are still suffering from homelessness are having a terrible time. Now these people are in the police vehicle. They'll be taken away, probably to the nearest police station, and our action support and arrest support people will go with them. Our rebels gathering around to support the people who are being taken away, our climate heroes. So we'll now close off this broadcast and thank you for your support and look forward to being able to report to you
And also,
some good messages.
hope the ladies in the ACT or the riders there are having a great action in solidarity with us as well.
Yeah, we would like to thank those riders in Canberra who've had a lovely bike storm.
Please, everybody.
So thank you for your attention today. We hope that Santos is removed as a sponsor from the Tour Down Under. We hope that the South Australian government sees sense and breaks the embarrassing nexus between our Premier, Peter Malinauskas, and his brother, who is an employee of Santos. Even if it wasn't a climate change problem, that alone would be a very damaging and difficult relationship to have. So let's hope that that is changed and that people see sense and that we find perhaps a renewable energy sponsor for the lovely Tour Down Under. Thank you and good morning.